All right, Nick, let's talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide head coach, Kalen DeBoer, come into town and really has done a great job over at Alabama. We've talked numerous times about all of the recruits, all of the talent that Alabama has been able to draw into this program. But there's surprisingly another aspect to this team, and I think it's the transfers we continue to see really shining. I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. And like, as I alluded to, the transfers are kind of been a hidden gem of this Alabama offseason. There's been a number of guys we've talked about who really started to look good, but lately, one guy in particular is really starting to shine in training camp. Let's get into the article and we can talk more about it on the other side. This is from over on SI.com. It says, one of several transfers in the Alabama's football program this past offseason, safety King Mack has made his presence felt in the Crimson Tide defensive backfield with less than 2 weeks until the regular season starts on August 31st. He's a very fast individual, Womack said Tuesday. He seems to be really making plays on the ball. I would say when we go scrimmage-like situations, he tends to elevate his game. When Womack then seemed to find the words he was looking for, gamer. I think he's a very instinctive football player, Womack said. Mack's intangibles have also drawn notice from his contemporaries in the secondary. Following defensive back Devonta Smith said he had pick sixes in both of the team's fall scrimmages. He goes to get the ball, said Smith. That was what we like about him. He's a very fast guy, very physical, and he has very good instinct. Nick, it seems like Alabama has hit on yet another big-time playmaker as a transfer for this team. I think it's going to be big for them going forward. I'm curious what your thoughts on this are, but before we get to you, Nick, Alabama fans, in the comment section below, season's about to start. Like the article said, August 31st, very, very close, 10 or less days away. Let us know right before the season, what are your predictions for Alabama's win-loss total? Let us know what your thoughts are on what this season is going to shake out. Different SEC nowadays. So let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. But Nick, what are your thoughts on King Mack and what he's done so far?
So first and foremost, if you backpedal to the Alabama Crimson Tide acquiring Key Mack through the transfer portal, I remember following people through Penn State, the bloggers and the message boarders and all those kind of people. They were so disappointed. They were devastated. They lost Mack. They thought they had themselves a future star in King Mack, and then they lost him to the Alabama Crimson Tide. That was an early indicator that he was going to be special. And there's a lot of concerns with Alabama at the safety position. Of course, Caleb Downs transferring after Nick Saban retired opened up a little bit of a window there for someone to step up and be a big-time playmaker, be that kind of disruptive force on the back end of the Alabama defense like we've seen for the better part of 2 decades. And it looks like King Mack's going to be that guy. And I think that's just, obviously it's a great sign that he's going to fill that role and step in. But I just think this is part of what we've seen from Kalen DeBoer and his staff going back months, right? Every time there seems to be a hole, every time there seems to be a weakness. Nick Saban leaving, they lose a bunch of recruits. Hey, they recruit well, get a lot of these guys back. Hey, they lose some transfer portal guys. Hey, they come in and they win a lot in the transfer portal. Hey, the recruiting class is going to suffer in Alabama. Nope. Kalen DeBoer is a great class. Hey, how's he going to build off of that? It's still off the Nick Saban sugar high. No, we just saw like a day or two ago, they just got one of the top running backs in the 2025 class, right? And what we've seen from Alabama is that Kalen DeBoer is the real deal. He has answered every single question when it comes to being the Alabama Crimson Tide coach that he physically could up to this point. Now, look, I get it. The game's not played yet. We're really going to see the rubber's going to meet the road here in a few short days here on the Saturdays is how good of a coach can he be game day. But all the concerns off the field, all the concerns of how can he build an elite championship roster? How can he maintain the Nick Saban era of dominance in terms of talent and roster building? That was a huge question mark. A lot of people didn't think he could be done because Saban obviously is a great, one of the greats, if not the great. But Kalen DeBoer has come in and done an absolutely outstanding job. And the emergence of King Mack and the fact that he's proven himself to be a star. I mean, when it's all said and done, who knows? He may even be better than Caleb Downs was for the Crimson Tide. I think it's just further proof that Kalen DeBoer was the right hire for Alabama and that the future continues to be bright in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, Nick, and when you talk about this Alabama team, I brought it up. There's one thing in particular I really like about a guy like this that they've brought in. First of all, you look at one of the other guys we've highlighted, LT Overton at defensive tackle, doing a lot of great work. This is a guy that's been around for quite some time, though. This is a guy that's not like King Mack, whose freshman season was last year in 2023. LT Overton's been around the block, probably going to the NFL next year. This is a guy in King Mack that can grow and learn with this team. He's got a lot of eligibility left, at least another year. So I think this is a big time steal. Like you said, they got him from Penn State. That was a huge grab for this team. And I really like that Coach DeBoer has highlighted getting some big time transfer portal additions to this team. And we're seeing it play off nicely. Because I think we've talked about this multiple times. When coaches come into a new situation, they're immediately 2 years behind when they're talking about the recruiting game for the next year. They're already a year behind. So getting the transfer portal right is ever more important than it can ever be, because nowadays the transfer portal is different than it's ever been before. And getting guys like King Mack in here that are big time playmakers and seeing it pay off feels really good if you're an Alabama fan, because Kalen DeBoer knows exactly what he's doing.